already mentioned, right? First Ethereum, then L2 wards, then we moved to rollups, then came DA. Now, do you think the next part of this process is the VM layer? And what kind of advancements can we expect there?
I think we are already seeing huge advancements in the ZK VMs. One of the things that I'm personally very eager to see, as I mentioned, is the app specificity of the execution layers.
Right.
Because right now people, of course, are stuck to the EVM because that has been the status quo. But slowly we have already seen things like, EVM Plus from Arbitrum, which has been like the stylus, right? It is immense. Like you can co-run your existing programs and get orders of magnitude benefit on specific types of programs if you use something like stylus, right? And those kind of things are going to come more and more.
Right.
And we are going
there's
to
fuel
see,
VM as well.
yeah, there's fuel. And fuel is something which has radically, like for very long, I've been extremely eager to see how they come up in production. And I'm like very bullish on them because the kind of novel architecture that they are following.
Right.
And we will keep on seeing, right now, the EVM parallelization and such. Polygon like I was within Polygon and we had worked on the block STM and such,
Right.
where we actually gone ahead and implemented it. So unless fundamental changes are being made on the execution layer, the execution scaling is going to remain a challenge.
Right.
And just because you take execution off chain doesn't mean that you can now take that and scale it by a very like lot.
Right.
Because there are things like state bloat, which has not which is one of the biggest problems that any EVM chain is going to face.
What is it? Can you talk more about that?
So essentially, when you think of the state changes, like you keep growing a state tree.
Right.
And your state tree keeps on getting bloated. So suppose like, why do you think that Ethereum right now has a 12-second block time and only a 30 million block gas limit, whereas someone like Polygon has a 20 million block gas limit, maybe for a 2.5 second block time? Like, it's essentially a similar code base, right? So can't Ethereum just shoot up its gas limits and then just run it?
Right.
The answer is yes, but then it comes with a sufficient downside of the state bloat and the DOS attacks.
Okay.
So every state IO read write is costly. And when you have a very big state, like I think a few TBs worth of state, then every read and write is costly.
Right.
And EVM, because it has had this database engine done for safety optimization rather than cost optimization, that's why the state kind of gets bloated. And then it gets very costly. You now have to spend huge amounts of resources in order to keep the chain running because of the bloat issues, right? It's because your state IO costs are your dominant factors, right? So those are the kind of things that any EVM compatible chain is going to face, unless they radically think about how different they can make either the execution engine or the state structure or so on.
Got it.